You are welcome to another edition of our series, Guiding Against Divorce in Marriage. Today we'll be discussing one of the things that we can do to avoid divorce in our marriages. I need to remind you of God's position on marriage. In Malachi chapter 2, verse 16a, God says, I hate putting away. Another version says, I hate divorce. And if God hates divorce, we must do our best to ensure that we avoid what God hates, so that we can continue to please Him. So today, we'll be talking about one of those things we can do to avoid divorce in our marriage. And what is that thing? Avoid unrealistic expectation. Avoid unrealistic expectation. There are expectations in marriage that are unrealistic, and many people enter marriage with those unrealistic expectations. Now, there are expectations, there are fantasies that you know, there are beautiful things you fantasize about, but immediately you step into marriage, then you step into reality. Many a times, the way a manner will look up forward to those expectations, they don't turn out that way. Then what do? A wise child of God in marriage will continue to believe and trust God, will continue to be positive about whatever reality that does not match his or her expectation in marriage. And a lot of people with those fantastic expectations have insisted or have made effort to ensure that those expectations come to pass, even when naturally they were not forthcoming. Are we supposed to kill ourselves in meeting those expectations? Are we supposed to drive our partners crazy in meeting our expectations? No. As Christians who are in marriage, we are not supposed to do any of that. What we are supposed to do is to keep believing God, keep trusting Him, and keep holding on to Him. These are expectations capable of being demystified by time, seasons, and events. Many of our expectations preparatory to marriage are not real, because reality dwells in marriage. Reality dwells in marriage. Reality dwells in marriage. And that is why a lot of people will enter marriage and say, they were disappointed. A lady will say, oh, my husband has changed. He was like this during our courtship. Immediately we got married, he just changed. He didn't change. Reality dawned on you. She didn't change. Reality dawned on you. My wife used to be very interesting during courtship. She used to be caring. She used to be, but reality of marriage has come. And you must learn to be adjusting to that, because things cannot continue to be exactly the way your expectations are. For instance, a young lady can expect that the way they used to frequent the cinema every week, the way they go to eatery to have lunch or dinner every time, that is how it is going to continue in marriage. That is an unrealistic expectation. Courtship is different from marriage. In courtship, that can happen, but in marriage, it must change, because the reality of marriage is that even if it continues, the frequency will drop drastically, because as a woman now, you have to settle down to your culinary roles and responsibility. It is time for you to cook okra soup for your husband. It is time for you to prepare banga soup. It is time for you to prepare amala. It is time for you to prepare all of those food as your husband will need them. There are no longer periods of ice cream. There are no longer periods of fried rice. If you need any of those things in your home, you make them yourself for your family. That is the reality of marriage on the woman's side. Another reality of marriage on the man's side is that a man can expect, for example, that his wife will continue to maintain a figure-8 shape in marriage, the way she used to look in courtship. But that expectation can be disappointed immediately after the first child. The woman can lose shape. The figure-8 will not be able to continue again. She can blow up, and all the contours can begin to get reformed. And then the man says, Abba, why you didn't look like this before? Why have you become like this? Why have you become this way? The truth of the matter is that reality has dawned, because the woman may not be able 100% to continue to look that young again. So there may be physical changes of some body parts, becoming larger than usual, or her whole shape is lost completely. That is the reality, Mr. Husband. And you have to make do with that. In such situation, a mature and godly partner will remember his or her marital vow made before God and many witnesses. That is, for better, for worse. You don't, because of that, lose interest in her. You don't, because of that, lose interest in him, and you are beginning to consider applying a reverse gear. Reverse gear is not applicable in marriage, especially Christian marriage. It is not applicable. God expects that your move is that of forward ever and backwards never. So until next time, when I come your way with another thing that we can do to help us avoid divorce in our marriages. Stay blessed.